Alright, so I think we got everything set up how I'm looking. Camera's good, sounds good. Okay. Alright, so this is the last video that I said we were going to do is how to play damage. We've done frontline, we've done healer, we have done flank. So now it's time for damage. Now, one thing I want to mention, we're only doing the siege game mode. There are different things I would advise for TDM. For example, with Tyra, I would play Tyra entirely differently. Now, damage is one of the easiest classes to play. It's even easier than tank, whereas tank is sit on point and soak up bullets. Damage is even simpler. Do damage. Hit people. It's not even a matter of killing them. That's a flank's job. It's not a matter of, you know, oh, clear everybody off the point. It's simply a matter. Do some damage. Damage them. The easiest characters to play in the game are damage characters. People say Victor is the easiest character in the game. As I'm going to show you, he is not. I firmly believe Victor is one of the harder ones to play effectively. Anybody can come into the game and play Victor. Anybody can come into the game and play Moji. Anybody can come into the game and play Talus. Anybody can come into the game and play Vivian. Anybody can come into the game and play Pip. Anybody can come into the game and play Fernando. Anybody can come into the game and play Ashe. Just a couple examples. To be really good with a player takes practice and skill. That's one of the things that these videos haven't been portraying. You need practice and skill. This is just my practice and skill, what I personally believe. But we're going to start at the bottom. Vivian is the easiest champion in the world to use. Now you look at her cards. This is why I say she's the cheapest character in the game to use. She has a 70 round magazine that fires a shot every 0.14 seconds. So she effectively gets 8 to 9 rounds off a second that deal 170 damage each. It's a 70 round magazine. Continuing firing for 2 seconds grants 20% increased damage. And if you're smart, you run it with unchecked ambition at level 5. 60% chance not to consume ammo. You essentially have a 240 round magazine that does almost 200 damage a shot over 8 shots a second. There's no easiest character in the game to use because you don't need escape ability. Anytime enough you have a shield, you just sit there and you shoot, and you have a little shield that you put up in front of you when you get low. I fucking hate Vivians. And a smart Vivian knows that Opportunity and Chaos is not the best card. A smart Vivian knows that you can play her like Leon, which I'll explain later. Sap rounds. You've got Instant Wrecker 2. You take Sap rounds, you take Cauterize. Right off the bat. You chew through Fernando's shield, and then you put Cauterize on him right afterwards. Anti-tank duty. What do? Opportunity and Chaos. Every goddamn Vivian in the game that I see is Opportunity and Chaos. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And then you have a player like me who I like more skillful characters. People can shit on Moji and say Moji's not a skillful character. There's a lot of people on my friends list that say they can't play Moji as a flank. Yes, the damage is there. They don't have the sustain. They don't have the escape. Same thing with Anar. A lot of people say they can't play Anar because they don't have the damage. That's the difference. They have the sustain. They have the flexibility. They don't have the damage output that I do, where I can put 100, 150k damage out with Anar. I'm one of those people with Vivian. I can't play her. Like, I can play her. I'm very effective. But I see these people with gaudy damage numbers with... what? 150, 160,000? No. I had a game today. I don't know if I can bring up the screenshot for you. Well, not the screenshot, but the history today. Here we go. Here we go. Right here. Right here. Look at this. That's a good game. 13 kills, 9 deaths, 15 assists. 55k damage. Top damage on the team. Couldn't get top damage. Bomb King beat me. That's why I don't like Vivian. She's too easy for me, and that's sad. Anyway, so this is what you need to realize with Vivian. So you are essentially a sniper, in a sense. I want to tell you right now, damage characters are snipers. You want to know who you've got for snipers? You got Cassie. She can beat Strix and Kinessa in long-range battles. I have done it before. You got Drogoz. He does have a faster projectile speed now. It's harder for me to hit my shots, but a lot of people find he's easy to snipe. Any type of damage character that can sit in a spot and camp. That's Drogoz. That's Cassie. That's Leon. That's Kinessa. That's Strix. That's Shaolin. That's Victor. That's Willow, that's Vivian. The only characters that I really say as damage characters that you cannot play as a sniper are Tyra, Bomb King. That's it. 2 characters in the whole game that you cannot snipe with in terms of damage. Everybody else can be a sniper. And that includes fucking Victor. Now, people are going to say Victor's the easiest character in the game to use. I disagree with that. So you look at, what is Vivian's weakness? She doesn't have an escape ability. She has a deployable sensor drone, which is kind of useless. For me, I mostly use it for Skye. It's not great. It's not great as, like, chuck it behind you and reveal people as they walk into your camping spot. That's not a great thing for me. It's also not very effective at alerting your team, because it only lasts for a brief period of time in that radius. For me, like, what I say, for me, I run Booby Trap or Sapper Rounds. Plain and simple. Opportunity and Chaos is a cheesy fucking card. I just don't believe in it. For one thing, you have to expend ammo to do it. You have to hit your shot. So I'll see Vivian's, I'll purposely shoot into a wall for 2 seconds, then turn and shoot everybody. Stupid. Completely stupid. No. No. Don't do that. Sapper Rounds. You got Wrecker 2 off the bat. You buy Cauterize 1. You get Cauterize 2. You get Cauterize 3. You don't need Wrecker 3. You don't. Because you'll chew through it fast enough. Especially when your ult is up. Because her ult is freaking deadly. Booby Trap I like because it gives you more of a range projectile. You can drop it in doorways and in choke points and use that little bit of damage. Like, I love, again, Vivian versus Skye. Because, boop, it reveals her. Boop, she takes the damage. Don't boost your reveal radius. Because with Booby Trap the way it is, basically if it reveals them, they can take the damage from it. I do like Booby Trap. Suspect everyone I don't like, because you have to deploy your sensor drones so often so that your deployables take less damage. And by the way, your deployables are your ultimates. Those are the little sentinels that sit there and shoot out rounds. It's important to note, those only fire when you are firing. So when you're holding down the trigger on your R2, on your light machine gun, your sentinels will fire as well. It does not automatically fire at enemies in there. The other problem is they have auto aim on them. They also have Cauterize or Wrecker, depending on what you have. Your shield is also, by the way, not a great option. Don't think of yourself as a backup frontline. Your shield is not Fernando. Your shield is not Khan. Your shield gets destroyed bloody quick. And the fact of the matter, you can double it to 2400 health. That's a third of Khan's shield. And Khan's shield, to me, is one of the faster shields to destroy. At 2400 health, you're slightly stronger than Torvald's shield, which gets melted in seconds. At 2400 health, you're about the same as Ruckus's shield. That's if you put 5 points into that card. And it lasts for 6 seconds. I was going to say 5 seconds, but it's 6 seconds, actually. You want to know why I said 6 seconds? Because my shield gets destroyed before the 6-second timer comes up. My shield never just drops on its own. It always is blam, 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 dead, and then I'm dead. Loadouts. Cheesiest build in the game right here. So you have your increased health, 60% chance not to consume ammo. So right there you've doubled your clip to a whopping 140. Now, the key here to note is that every shot has 60%. I sum it up as 75%. more than 60%. Because my accuracy is good. So when I'm shooting, it hits. Also note, this affects if you're shooting deployables. This affects if you're shooting shields. This affects if you're shooting people. As long as you're shooting something that can take damage. Boom. 60% chance to reduce. It's bullshit. This right here is just because, again, my accuracy is good. This is reducing the recoil. This card I've been thinking about swapping out. I'll do that. I'll do that, why not? That's kind of the same build that I run for everything. This is what I call my sniper build. This is for me, I tend to have, for iron sight type characters, I will have a sniper build for them. Because I like that longer range precision that an automatic iron sight character can have. So you look right here, 100% reduced recoil in precision sight. I literally am so accurate. Ping, 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 ping. You have to damage me to flinch my aim. I don't have wide bullet spread. I'm just sitting there mowing you down the whole time. Bring that up. Now again, you saw those two as the filler cards. There's a reason for that. And then this right here, every shot made in precision sight has a 24% chance not to consume ammo. So that really, I have to focus on reloading a lot more with this. So reload speed is something I will consider taking. You know what? Doesn't matter. Her damage output is so insane. Combo that with her ultimate. Again, every shot, you have 2 shots a second that deal 200 damage each. So every second you deal another 400 damage on top of the, let's say we're running Opportunity and Chaos. And by the way, Opportunity and Chaos will stack with your Sentinels. So you're looking at 440 damage from the Sentinels per second with Opportunity and Chaos. And your machine gun, which can get to about 200 damage per shot. You get 8 shots a second, that's 1600. So now you're looking at over 2000 damage a second. With a fucking personal shield. I don't need escapability with her. I'm sorry. Morale boost is also the way to go over Nimble. I see people take Nimble all the time with her. It's not the way to go. Anyways, Willow. Now allow me to go from the easiest character to use to the most annoying character in the game to use. Now, she was hard to play before. They buffed her ass big time, and now she's annoying as hell. Willow's always been annoying. One of the things you need to realize with Willow is your damage output is very low. Willow is what I like to call a support damage. Like Torvald is a support tank. Like Khan is a little bit of a support tank. Like Moji can be a support flank. Willow is that, because her primary function is not necessarily to be a damage. Dead zone. Plain and simple. Now, what's interesting to me, so we went over the cards that you should take for Vivian. For Vivian, you know, Saparans and Booby Trap. Obviously, there's gonna be people out there that say Opportunity and Chaos, and I'm literally just like, you see the look of disdain on me talking about Opportunity and Chaos Vivian. I don't understand. Like, she can take almost any character in the game one-on-one. If just plain and simple. She's one of the hardest characters in the game to counter. The fact that she has a higher health pool. She's a 2650 health character on the build that I have with her. Plus a shield. Now, yes, you can remove the shield. Like, Khan can remove it by doing the commander's grab. But the fact of the matter is, like, especially a champion like Moji, I put up my magic barrier. When I come out of magic barrier, she can just melt me. She'll sit there and fire through it with Opportunity and Chaos because my magic barrier lasts for 2 seconds. So she'll have the damage bonus by the time I come out of magic barrier. If I'm half health or lower, I'm dead within the second. It's just... you see the look of disdain on my face in that I fucking hate Vivian. I think she's the cheapest character in the game to use. I honestly do. Like, people say, oh, there's so many cheap characters, Emoji's a cheap character, blah, blah, blah. Give me a pay. Shut up, I've been up since 6 a.m. Moji requires skill. Vivian does not. So we're talking about Willow. So look at Willow. You have to realize that you're only gonna... Your primary attack is actually the lowest in the game for a damaged character, by the way. Like, she is like Lex, where Lex is a very effective and somewhat annoying flank. But his damage output is actually rather low, unless you build him right. It's the same thing with Willow. She deals 500 damage every 3/4 of a second. So, in a second and a half, you deal 1,000 damage. It's an AoE, but her AoE is small. It's smaller than that of Eevee. What you need to balance with her are her abilities. So, Dead Zone and Seedling. Those are your keys. Flutter is stupid. Up and forward. It doesn't go very far. It doesn't go very far forwards. It doesn't go very far upwards. Flutter is useless to me. I use it as like a quick dash in type move. You can't use it to dash out. You have to physically turn yourself around and then flutter forward in order to do that. I did the chair spin for effect because I've got the camera and I might as well pander to the camera. So, jazz hands. Dead Zone is fucking annoying as hell. So it deals 100 damage on contact, which is nice. Nightshade is great because it's now 800 damage on contact. For me, she does have good cards to use. If your accuracy is good, then Blast Flower is great because you can go 500, 600, 700, 800. If you can keep stacking your shots on people. And it does make you more effective as a damage. But I think that's kind of a stupid card because you reduce... You're not focusing on your other more important abilities. Your Seedling is great. You chuck a grenade out. I like Scorn. Personally, I like Scorn. Scorn, Dead Zone, and Scorched Earth all have their merits. I personally like Scorn. I have a friend of mine that's a Willow main. They do nothing but Nightshade. And I respect that. I run Nightshade about 33% of the time. Like, to be honest, of the cards right here, I run Scorn about 40% of the time. I run Nightshade about 35% of the time. I run Scorched Earth about 35% of the time. But no, that doesn't work, does it? 25% of the time, whatever. Yeah, 25% of the time. That's kind of how I stack it. It's kind of balanced. 30, 40, 35, 25. It's kind of balanced. Scorn to me I prefer just because it reduces the fuse time on Seedling. You have to realize that when the Seedling gets chucked in, it does have kind of an odd arc, but I like the arc that it has. It's like I miss Tyra. Tyra's grenade launcher used to be at an arc, and I would love it because I could sit long range and just pink grenades into people's spawn points from across the map. Pink, pink, pink. Now it's a straight line. I can't do that. I don't like the straight line off of Tyra. Because I'm always instinctively angle up. I always angle up. Now, there's a pro to con in this. The con is I miss a lot. The pro is headshot damage off a grenade. I take headshot damage off a grenade. Take a 700 Tyra grenade and turn that fucker to a 950. But yeah. Same thing with Seedling. I like that Seedling, so you got 400 damage up front, and then you can stack additional 400 damage. I like Scorn because you really can clobber people with it. Because the damage of each Seedling is 750. So it's 400, and then 4 750s. And it's a faster explosion time. I like that better because it does give you more of a damage output. Because that's how you get most of your damage. Another thing to note with Willow is know how to stack your abilities. Dead Zone, then Seedling. If you're running Scorn, definitely Dead Zone, then Scorn. If you're running Nightshade or Scorched Earth, particularly if you're running Scorched Earth, then Seedling and then Dead Zone, because you have to factor in the the fuse time on your Seedling. So Dead Zone, then Seedling. Or Seedling, then Dead Zone, unless you're running Scorn. Dead Zone is, we're going to get to that next, but that's the most important thing. Dead Zone to me is the thing to run against tanks as well. If they're going to stack 2 tanks with shielding, or if they're going to stack a shielding-based tank with a Vivian. Or if they're going to run Torvald and Furia with a tank that has shield. Like Torvald Furia, because Furia does a decent amount of shielding, believe it or not. I've had games with Furia where I've done close to 14, 15,000 in terms of shielding. Which is usually more than what I do with Khan, if I'm quite honest. I don't focus a lot on my shield with Khan, so the fact that Furia can do more shielding than Khan is amazing to me. So that's why I say, if you see a Furia, I'm more tempted with Furias to run shielding, because most Furias run the shield item card in their loadout. So what we're looking at right here is the Dead Zone damages shields for 50% maximum health per second, and it reduces the cooldown. The reduced cooldown is really the bigger benefit, more than actually reducing the shields. Like, if they're not running a lot of shields, it's more effective to take that sometimes just for the reduced cooldown. Nightshade is obviously great because of that initial explosion. So if you do Scorn, if you do run Seedling and then Nightshade, what you're going to have is, so you get 400 damage, 800 damage, and then 1600 damage. So you can stack your damage. Why Dead Zone is the most annoying thing in the game is for this simple reason. You cannot heal in it for 5 seconds. When you leave, you cannot heal in it for 2 seconds. It shuts down all healing. The only way to counter it is kill to heal, because it is a guaranteed 300, 600, or 900 health for every kill. Items in your loadout, like heal for 100 when you activate set ability, will not heal. Life Rip will not heal. Khan will not heal with Battle Shout. Plain and simple. Her ultimate is also kind of stupid. So you can fly around and it gives you a lot of mobility for 10 seconds. And it gives you CC, which is nice. Yeah. It's not great. I can fly in the air like a little bird or a plane or Superman. Looking at your loadout, this is my primary loadout. Again, so I have the health in there, obviously. That's the big thing for me. This is my thing that I'm definitely built around the Dead Zone. 7.5 second Dead Zone. Leave or take damage. This is nice. Now, one thing I do have a problem with, I think this would make her even more OP, especially for a Scorn build. Reduce the cooldown of Seedling by 0.5 seconds if you hit an enemy with Seedling. That only affects if you hit one enemy. So you could hit 10 enemies, it's still only going to reduce cooldown. If that was per enemy, I would prefer that more. I would put the 2.5 points into that. If I hit the whole enemy team, I've essentially taken 10 seconds off of a 15-second cooldown. So yes, I would prefer if that card was changed a little bit. That to me is a buff I would like to see. Especially if they do what they need to do, which is nerfing Dead Zone. And then increasing the cooldown of Dead Zone by 2.5 seconds. Just because again, Dead Zone is more important than your Seedling. Your damage is not what is important as Willow. That's what I keep telling people. Your Dead Zone is. The longer you can keep heals on point. Pink, no healing on point. Pink, no healing on point. You have to realize a lot of front lines deal low damage. Makoa is a low damage tank. He has 4 rounds that he fires every second that deals 650. That's great and wonderful. But the amount of damage that he does at close range, it's a slower projectile with a slower firing speed and a slow reload speed. Yes, it deals higher damage up front, but it also has a little bit of an arc to it. Same thing with Fernando. Fernando's base fire, it has built-in cauterize to it. And it does have burn over time damage, but it's only 50, I think it's like 20 or 50. Let me check. Hold on. I keep forgetting I'm right here. Yeah. It's 35 damage per hit every 0.1 second. It's still relatively low damage output. Again, this is a build, this is a specialty build I want to show up that I've come up with. This is mobility. So this is an interesting one right here. This is, was I gonna take that out? This is a speed build right here. This gives you a flank ability on Willow. Because, so you get 32% movement speed when you're out of combat. Now the trick here is, you want to use your flutter. When you are in air, it counts as being out of combat. So that 32% movement speed out of combat as long as you're not firing a weapon, does that. And that can be offset by just chucking your seedling. It grants you the 40% movement speed for 3 seconds. So you can stack all this movement. I had a game today with Maeve. I pissed this Maeve off because I was moving so fast compared to her. This is a Maeve that ran, tier 2 nimble. Okay, she should have been darting around. I had no nimble on me whatsoever with this build, and I was just like flying around the map. Right after her. I was right behind her the whole game, chasing her down. And I literally had this Maeve that just turned around and would chuck knives in my face and pounce me. And then prowl away. And I would still follow her. And she's like sitting there. At one point, I literally saw her stop moving. Look down at the ground. For a minute. I was just standing there watching her look down at the ground for a minute. Then I go to my screen and I found out, because it was a TDM, she bought Nimble 3. And she was finally fast enough to escape me. So this is a nice build right here. If you find yourself getting flanked a lot, I will say this is also a very good sniper build. And it's versatile because it's built around you. That's one thing I will say for damages. For damages that have very good cards, where there's a lot of good choices. So for me, that's Willow. Willow has a lot of good choices. Shaolin has a lot of good choices. Victor has a lot of good choices. Leon has a lot of good choices. Bomb King has a lot of good choices. Drogoz has a lot of good choices. If you can justify 3 or all 4 of the legendary cards as, okay, I can build this way, I can build this way, then it's more justifiable to run a set build rather than specializing. Like, that's why you see me running the 2 builds on every character. I've got my use me build, I've got my base build that's for what I primarily play, and I've got more of a specialty build. In this case, Willow's kind of the opposite for me, where I have my mobility build that is a set generic build. I can use that with any legendary card in the game. I'm not going to boost any of those cards even further. That's one of the things like Victor. Victor to me is a hard character to play, and we're gonna transition to him right now while we're at it. By the way, this is Victor. Okay, I want you to know. That is not Victor. That is a One Direction boy band reject. That is Victor. He's got an eye patch and a 5 o'clock shadow, and I imagine he should have some scars. Alright, you have to look right here. All of these are good options. You want to turn yourself into more of an AoE damage dealer. Shrapnel. Increase the blast radius on your grenade and up it to 950 damage. That's nice, right there. Gunnery. Turn yourself into a sniper, especially if you have a build. People say, oh, it's only 15% more bonus damage. Dude, that stacks with headshots. You can't go wrong with it. Firefight. A lot of people run Firefight because it's 30% bonus damage when hip firing. Now, you're gonna miss more of your shots, you're gonna have a harder time with your recoil, but again, it's more damage if you like being up close and personal. Cardio, if you don't have a healer, just run away like a little pussy bitch and heal up. And in that case, it's okay, because you don't have a healer. Now, for me, I seek victors that run cardio. Run. Cardio. Whatever. I see victors that run cardio a lot with like 2 healers on them, and I sit there and think to myself, why? It's also important to note that you're harder to hit during your sprint. Now, let's be clear, it's not hustle, it's sprint. He is your generic type character. One of the things that also makes him hard to use, your barrage. Your barrage, you have to be able to click on enemies. It's not as simple as you bring up a binocular. It's not like the Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War, where you bring up your binoculars and a laser comes. You actually have to have a character to lock onto. You can't preemptively shoot it around corners like I could with the Hammer of Dawn. Or like I could charge it up with a Spartan laser in Halo. I can charge that up and time it so as I move around the corner, I can fire the beam. Or as they move around the corner, I can fire the beam. You have to be able to see them to hit it. And it is very effective, especially with a group. Especially with a group of people clustered together, because you just pink, 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 you just click it 3 times on anybody in that cluster, and they all take the damage. So that makes it effective. Again, look at how you can build him, though. I've seen amazing builds. Plus, I have a lot of people that main Victor, surprisingly. And people tell me Victor's a bad, but if you're going to look at, like, a lot of the people on my friends list that you see me playing with, a lot of them are very good Victors. They're better Victors than me. Because I don't play him enough. I would rather play Tyra. Tyra has a lot more skill to her. There's a couple of people that talk trash about how Victor's the best character in the game, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, just because you play Call of Duty doesn't mean jack shit. Just because you play Call of Duty and you know how to play Call of Duty characters doesn't mean that Call of Duty characters are the best characters in the game. Call of Duty. Notice how I'm saying Call of Duty a lot. And that's why a lot of people say he is the easiest character in the game. The disadvantage is he doesn't have a shield. He doesn't have any way to protect himself. He can run away. And you know what? Grover cripples him with his cripple axe and roots him, and he can't run away. Or Genos lifts him up in the air with Void Grip, and he can't run away. Maldamba uses his ultimate. Well, he is running away, but he can't control how he runs away. What's her name? Torvald comes over and nulls you, and he can't run away. Why I say Vivian is an easier character to use than him is quite simple. Because she has a shield. In all of those instances that I just named, she has a shield. Plain and simple. She has an extra health bar you have to chew through, whereas he has to run away. And without cardio, he can't heal. So my use me build is mostly built around gunnery and sniping. Because you see, okay, so 100% reduced recoil in Iron Sight. And I have the Predator, so that's mostly, this is what I use to counter Strix a lot of times. So if you look at this build right here, what makes it so effective is, so I have 100% reduced recoil. My aim is dead on. I can lob a grenade. If it hits a bunch of people, the cooldown reset. I can chuck another grenade. Wait 5 seconds, chuck another grenade. If Strix wants to go invisible, I can reveal him to me so I don't miss my shots. And then you have the speed load. So I can aim down sight and keep getting the ammunition loaded for me. My firefight build is more flexible because I run this with cardio. I'll run this with any... Ooh, why is that gun on? Hold up, I made a boo-boo. I don't mind the gun, but I still prefer that full loadout. Okay. Ah, my ear's itchy. Hold up. Ow, 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 ow. Shut up. Don't judge. Don't judge. Yeah, I'm tired. It's been a very long, stressful day. Wah, wah. So again, I like this build right here because this is meant to be highly mobile in a way. So your grenade generates ammo for everybody that you hit. And your kills and eliminations give you almost a half a clip every time you get one. I run a 40 round clip on this that helps offset some of the lost ammo with firefight, and as long as I can keep getting eliminations and kills, then I can keep getting my ammo refunded, and I've got the grenade, and I can chuck a grenade and reduce the cooldown to chuck another grenade and get more ammo. This is as close to a never-ending clip as you're gonna get with Victor. It's possible you could put a full 5 points into speed load and get your ammo literally back every time. You could literally take out XL Mag, replace it with another card completely, have speed load on 5, and maybe have Grenadier, and that's what I'm calling, not Grenader, Grenadier, on 3. So you would be taking 3 seconds off the cooldown for every character hit, which would automatically reset the cooldown as long as you hit 3 people, which is not hard. One of the things, again, I will say, I see a lot of people, they take a couple of cards. For one thing, this card, Reflexes, stupid. You don't need it. Your Iron Sight is very quick to bring up. You do not need that. Another thing, reduce cooldown on your frag grenade. Again, don't need it. Over long distances, don't cook the grenade. Just throw the fucker. Nah. At close range, you don't want to reduce the cook time anyways, because it's going to blow up in your hand. That, to me, can be helpful, but you need to put points into that. So that's again, and people. This is my argument to people who say Victor's the easiest character in the game. He's not. Okay, so you build him around gunnery, around longer range combat. A flank gets up in your face and knocks you out. A Buck, a Moji, a Lex, when they get up in your face, they can do more damage than you. There, this is a range approach. Okay, so you build around firefight, but then again, you have to get up close to do the bulk of your damage. Yes, you're a medium range character, but your accuracy becomes kind of shit. No offense, it does. So, a longer mid-range character, Cassie, Leon, are gonna beat you in that situation. Not to mention your longer range characters like the Strix, and the Kinessa, and the Shaolin, and the Vivian. Okay, so you run cardio, but now you're sacrificing additional damage output. You have to look, you have 3 cards that boost your damage. You have 1 card that's for healing. If you take that healing card, now you have to rely on a strong loadout for damage, for being able to generate ammo, for being able to reduce the cooldown on your grenade. And then another example is, okay, so if you take the shrapnel card, now the problem is you're building around that grenade. And it really becomes a problem because now your direct fire becomes kind of useless. You kind of become built around the grenade, where you just chuck a grenade, and then chuck a grenade, and then chuck a grenade, for the bulk of your damage. And you just use that in between your cooldowns. Which is great and wonderful, but you're not boosting what you're primarily going to use. That's why I like gunnery, or firefight. I want to boost what I primarily use. And you'll see that with the build on my damage. Whatever I primarily use as an attack is what I want to boost. Now we're going to go Tyra. Tyra, as you can see, is my favorite damage. In that, she's who I'm best with. Tyra to me is better. So she deals less damage than Victor, but she fires faster than Victor, which is critical. She has one of, if not the fastest firing rate in the game. You have the grenade launcher, which now it's a straight line, so you basically have a straight line bullet that deals 700 damage. I still aim upwards with it like I'm going to arc it, even though I tend to miss more of my grenades that way. I still like it because if I score a headshot, I'm dealing 950 damage instead of 700 damage. Don't believe me? Go try it. She to me is another stupid character in terms of there's 2 cards to run. Now, I see almost everybody run Burn Monster, and to be honest, I run Burn Monster. I don't like running Burn Monster. I like Hunting Party. I mean, my Firebomb is absolutely lethal. Firebomb is a backup dead zone. It's not... Firebomb with Burn Monster is dead zone. Right there. It spreads with you. It's 90% reduced healing. Don't tell me, oh, it's 50% reduced healing. But it deals so much damage that you can't out-heal. I call it 90% reduced healing. Continue contact. It burns 9% maximum health per second. Over 0.6 seconds. Like, you can almost kill somebody with this. You'll leave them with just a tiny sliver of health if they just sit there and stand it the whole time. The long cooldown can be offset. She to me is, a lot of people say, oh, well, she doesn't have any way to protect herself. She doesn't have any way to escape. But then again, she doesn't need to. She is the best up and up damage dealer in the game. She has 4 abilities and they're all built around damage. People say, the hunting mark's not great. It gives you bonus damage. Here's what I love. I have a hunting mark build. It's the only build, I call it test for a reason. It's the only one, the health card is at 150. It is not at 250. Here's why. I have to run this with a good healer. I have to know my healer in order to run this. This is with Hunting Party. A 16-second Hunting Party. A 16-second Hunting Party. Skye wants to go invisible? Fuck that bitch. I outlast her hidden. I outlast it. Plain and simple. You want to go invisible on me? I don't think so. I will see you. I will see you later. Bye-bye. Run away across the map. Scurry away. Oh, Strix over there. Yeah, I see you too. I'll still hit you. One thing I do need to note. Salamander Hide 5. must be in your loadout. You can drop a firebomb at your feet, stand in it, and not take any damage. It also does reduce slightly the damage from other Tyra firebombs. It doesn't work with Burn Monster, but that first blood card, the Life Rip, is stupid to me. I hate that card. Like the 30% Life Rip, because you're giving up all your damage output for healing. But unlike Victor, you're predicated on doing more damage. You have to do damage in order to get the healing. Whereas with Victor, I just have to run away. And I heal. And I heal. I'm healing. I'm healing 250 health a second right now. Versus Tyra. Blam. I'm healing. Blam. I'm healing. Blam. I'm healing. Blam. I'm healing. I know it's not an accurate representation, but I'm tired right now, and I'm angry and ornery, whatever. I'm making this video because I promised I would get it done, and I'm not going to get it done tomorrow, to be quite honest. So, I'm doing it now. Mercy Kill is another stupid one. It is more of a tank killer type card. It's very similar to Maeve with Street Justice, with it basically deals up to double damage based off of your target's missing health. If you're a tank and you shoot them with this, they can die. Plain and simple. I just don't like it though, because if you're gonna run Mercy Kill, it turns you into more of a focuser. Precision damage. But if you're gonna do that, I would rather run Hunting Party, because rather than me focusing on somebody, I would rather the whole team be able to focus on somebody. Hunting Party is what I would prefer to run. I just don't get to do it because a lot of people shit on me. Like, a lot of people shit on me about running Maldamba as a healer, and then I run 140... Where was that game? Is that game up here? Hold on. This is something... I need to validate myself if it's up here. I don't think... Is it this? No, it's not that. Damn it, it's not on here. I'll put this game up here because this game was good. But, yeah, that's Maldamba Gang, top healer. I died the most times. I didn't get a lot of kills, but there's a game I had on here I wanted to show off. I got 141,000 in heals. And people were screaming, need healing the whole game as Maldamba, and they're like, it's Ascension's Peak, they're like flanked, and they're all the way up in the enemy base, and I'm on the point saying, bye, good luck with that. So again, you look, alright, so this, again, look at the build that I run, they're the same cards, just in different amounts. So this is my Use Me build. Again, I prefer the 32 round magazine on Tyra. I don't know why, it is just a personal preference, because what's funny, when Cards Unbound was a thing, which, rest in peace, Cards Unbound. I don't care about your pay-to-win concept. The game was fun to play during Cards Unbound. I'm sorry, it was. I only ever got locked and loaded at level 3. I ran a 32 round magazine on Tyra for so long, it's second nature now. I have to have that 32 round magazine, basically. Like, that's one of the problems with my test build, is it really becomes more of me playing a support, in that, okay, I got a firebomb on point for you, and I've got Hunter's Mark reveal. I think that it's more important, if you're gonna run multiple flanks, to have Tyra on Hunting Party, just so you give them a target. And why is that gun equipped? No. My Lotus Stinger, my lucky Lotus Stinger needs to be equipped. So, the Use Me build is, again, you look at this, so I have the increase at Primal Might. I get so many eliminations that the cooldowns just reset themselves. People say you need to put more points into it. I have people tell me 5 points into Primal Might, and 5 points into Salamander Hide, and then 3 points into whatever else you want. No, I don't need it. I have games with Tyra of 260,000 in damage, with 40 some odd kills, 40 some odd assists. I've died 12, maybe 13 times because I'm high risk, high reward, and we just own the shit out of them in Siege because I just run all over them, killing them with a build like this. Not so much with this because I don't really have that extra health. That extra 100 health really comes into effect in a situation of Cauterize, where you're low on health. Like I said, she to me is one of, if not the best damage in the game, because you have an AoE damage that in Firebomb that is just absolutely deadly. You have a high damage skill in your grenade launcher, you have a high damage close range in your rifle, and you have the ability to single people out. And your ultimate is insane because it just turns you it just turns you into the Punisher. I know the Punisher doesn't have that kind of ability, but it literally can be used to punish people. I see a lot of people, they run morale boost with the First Blood card because they just want to spam their ultimate and heal themselves in low health situations. Because firing does not consume ammo and they move so fast. She is the best damage in the game. I'm sorry. Now we look at Strix. I can't really help you with Strix. Strix is going to be very short and sweet. I run Strix as a pistol build, right? Strix is great to me. He's my favorite sniper of the two because I have a better close range option than Kinessa. I'm less effective at long range. I'm more effective at close range. That's why I like the pistol. I don't like ambush. For one thing, shots made in stealth deal 15% more damage. I get that as a sniper. If you're going to sit there in the shadows, line up your shot patiently, pink. But you're instantly revealed after you fire a shot. And it costs so much stealth to go in and out. To just go stealth, fire a shot, wait the 1 second, stealth, fire a shot. It costs too much to do that. Flare is what I run. Flare or Nocturnal. Nocturnal, if I'm more stealth, if I'm running my sniper build, I'll run Nocturnal just because it gives me more time to line up the shot. I would rather have more time and line up headshots than have that 15% damage. Crackshot I also don't like. Because it's completely based around me landing a shot at long range with my sniper rifle, and then getting up close and doing pistol damage. I don't like that. I also love the flare card. That's what I use, is unauthorized use. If I'm running flank pistol build, I will shoot you directly with my flare and do anywhere from 700 to 900. I forget if it's 700 or 900 damage. Just pick right in your face. You're on fire, you're taking burn damage after the 700 damage. And I'm sitting there, pew, 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 with my goddamn pistol. If you want to look at the loadout, I'd prefer the pistol build. The extra 2 rounds for the handgun, I prefer that. This, again, this is for unauthorized use. Because I will try and stay long range and take some pot shots as I'm moving up. These two are just insane when you can get that. Just as fast as you can hammer the trigger. And then the sniper, because I'm not good as a sniper. I don't like aiming down the field. This is a very fast-paced and fluid game. It's very hard to stay in one spot and snipe. When I played Overwatch, which, by the way, in all honesty, I played Overwatch. I played some of the beta and some of the regular game on PC on a friend's console. I did not do it as a console. I did it on a PC. That's the first thing. I don't like playing shooters as on PC. Plain simple. But I was decent with automatic characters at least, because I just fucking held down the trigger like a goddamn noob. I'll admit it. I didn't have any sense of ammo control. But one thing I will say is I liked sniping in Overwatch. I liked Widowmaker. And to a certain extent Hanzo. I like that ability to, because it's harder for the flanks to come get you. It's harder for them to get to you in Overwatch than in this game, in my opinion. Flanks, when they get to you, you're kind of toast. It's a who's better with their character situation. And then if you look right here, the damage reduction while I'm in scope is critical because I tend to lock in and not pay attention to any of my surroundings. That, I really don't want to put the points into that, but again, I would prefer Strix because he's better. I'll do Kinessa right off the bat because she's short and sweet. Reposition to me is a stupid card. Teleporter is instant. That's kind of stupid to me. One thing I will give her credit over compared to Strix. Her ultimate is better than Strix's. Strix's flashbang should be his primary instead of flare. Like, the flare is kind of stupid. The flashbang should be his alternate. Keep the longer cooldown on it, but I just think the flashbang is just so, like, meh. I have to run morale boost on him just to get the flashbang out more, because it's something that should be regularly used. Her ultimate is better, because basically you're gonna deal 50% increased damage as long as you hit a target. And your sniper rifle rounds don't consume ammo. You can just sit there and go ping, ping, ping. God dang, my thing fell down. I'm spinning my chair too much. I'm a little... Shut up. A friend of mine made this for me. A friend of mine made this for me. It's mine. I use it as my my backrest for this. Because that way there, if my head is really sweaty during a long gaming session, I kind of leave it up here and dry it and whatever. It's kind of like a rag, basically. I know what you're thinking, but shut up. It's comfy. It's comfy. It also does help offset my chair. Keeps me warm, keeps me cool, whatever I need. I would love to run Eagle Eye. I can't land headshots. I would love to run Steady Aim. I can't hit sniper shots. I mainly run Suppression with the Oppressor Mines because the Oppressor Mines are lethal. Here's a little pro trick. Are you having problems with Terminus ulting you all the time? Are you sick and tired of that motherfucking zombie douchebag reviving and getting full health after you work so hard to kill him? Well, fear not, there's a solution. It's called Knetha! You can now run the suppression card with my Use Me build for 75% reduced healing. Drop 2 mines on Terminus as he's ulting, and he'll revive with 1,000 health. Perfect for your next headshot following words. And if you or a loved one calls and orders now, we'll be sure to throw in the fact that this works against almost all characters in the game. Go ahead, shoot those headshots however you want, because motherfucker ain't gonna heal out of it. New and improved from the makers of Hi-Rez. It's called Fucked Up Gameplay. Now that we've gotten our paid sponsor advertising out of the way. Not Hi-Rez, I mean, shut up, it's a gag. This is my build, right here. On the off chance I can hit somebody with the sniper, I have the True Grit 1. I have the increased radius on the mines, and I have the reduced healing, and that's the big thing for me, is I use that to mitigate the fact that I'm shit aiming. I do have an Eagle Eye build that's very strong, if I knew how to snipe. Like, that's the thing, I'll tell you right now. Look at the levels, okay? You see the levels! 11 and 12. I'm bad at snipers. Alright, we have to come back down here. Shaolin is the last one on this level we have to do. Shaolin to me is interesting. Now, I tried to do a withdraw build, the Desert Shadow. I did not have a lot of luck with it. Recurve is a very basic thing. For me, I like the slower pace of the arrow, of the drawback, giving me time to adjust my aim, and then fire. Recurve kind of throws me off. But the fact of the matter, you only draw your bow 15% faster. Woohoo. Shaolin is insane on damage if you know how to run them right. Now, I do like exploding arrows because it gives me an AoE damage. Mostly, I like that if it's something that gives you an AoE damage. You have to look at your damage characters. Bugging is all AoE. He doesn't have direct damage. Cassie only has the blast shot. Again, Drogo's all AoE damage. You look at Leon, she's kind of got AoE damage with the sniper presence, and her ultimate, even though it's a direct damage, it's basically a souped up version of presence. You know, she has her mines for AoE damage. Strix, he has the flare for AoE damage, and the flashbang. Tyra and Victor, they all have some form of AoE damage. Booby trap on her. I have to build her for booby trap, and I have to build him for exploding arrows to get that bonus damage. But I would rather have that type of AoE give me some versatility. If they're all going to stack up Haven, then I need an AoE damage to get some bulk damage in. Also, I really don't like the Impaler arrow. I like that this is... And it does give me the AoE, the explosion on contact, and the knockback. I don't need the stun on the Impaler arrow. So I do have a build for that. That's called Quiver right here. If you see, this is reduced. That right there is for planted. Plain and simple. That has nothing to do with anything else. Rather than reducing the cooldown on planted, I would rather reduce that. That's my big thing. And then if you look, Shifting Sands and planted is the way to go on Shaolin. A kill resets the cooldown on planted. So it's plink, 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 plink. Oh, I got a kill. Plink, 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 plink. Oh, I got another kill. Plink, plink, plink. Oh, I got another kill. Plink, plink. Oh, I got another kill. Plink, plink, plink. Team wipe. Top play. Double kill. Triple kill. Quadra kill. Pentakill. Hexakill! There you go. And that's how we play Shaolin. Hexakill. And you see this right here. The damage reduction during planted keeps you alive. That's movement speed, so you can get out of planted easier. And that's health during planted. So you got... That's the sustain part right there. What really pisses me off, though, when I play Shaolin, is when somebody... I don't mind if it's a flank. Because that's their job, is to get kills. I understand that. I have to respect that. Especially as somebody who plays flank. When a goddamn con is doing nothing but following me around the entire game with storm of bullets, mowing down everybody I get low, so I can't reset the cooldown on my planted. Because that's the only disadvantage right there. You have to get a kill to reset the cooldown of planted. So your best bet is to use planted to get a kill and then get another kill. That's why he kind of plays as a flank. I would prefer him to be considered a flank rather than an actual damage. I do like Shaolin. I just never get the chance to play him. Like Shaolin and Willow, even though they're lower levels, I never get the chance to play him. Because everybody wants me on Tyra. But I'm good as Tyra. Alright, so we're gonna look here. The only one we have on this road to do is fairly easy is Leon. Leon is another very versatile person. I cannot recommend doing presence. A lot of people do because basically every you automatically reload when you slide. And your weapon shot deals 6% more damage. I'm sorry, I cannot recommend it. One of the things I have to say, like Willow, she is very low damage. Her strength comes from her ability to hit so many different people. Hi, this is Marco Rubio, and I'm advertising for insert generic name brand water here, and I want to just tell you about this wonderful... Hold on. I'll find the water bottle somewhere. Hold on. Find the water bottle. Water bottle. There's a water bottle. There's a water bottle. There's a water bottle. Good. If I'm gonna have a drink, I might as well shove a Marco Rubio joke in there. Just piss off. So, Eminence is great as a sniper. I love that, again, for sniping. So, the fact that it deals more damage based off of range is critical, because I can stay long range and pin my shots down. The cooldown reduction is insane. The 4 seconds brings it down to 11. I have another 7.5 seconds built in if I hit my target. So, I can just blow straight through people with it. And because it pierces through people is great. Another thing, again, that is really important with her is... Death and Taxes is very critical because every attack that you have, except your ultimate, counts as a weapon attack. So Death and Taxes applies on every single attack you do. You do sacrifice area damage. And what I mean by area damage, this is another thing. I have people that tell me, Leon is the best area damage in the game. Do you see her cards? Heirloom Rifle, Valor, Grace, Direct damage, like that. Presence, area damage, like that. Area damage is prevented with blast shields. Direct damage is prevented by Haven. Just because you can put area damage over an area does not make it area damage. Alright? Moji is one of the best area damage dealers in the game. That doesn't make her an area damage champion. Again, Shaolin with a planted build. I can put out damage over a large... I didn't mean to hit that button, but I'm not going to fix it yet. Over a large area. Doesn't make him an area champion. I prefer Alacrity. Or however the fuck you pronounce it. I call it Alacrity. Or Alacrity. 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 Yeah, come here, Alacrity. Make your daddy dance. Because when I slide, I hit everybody. And then I do Valor, which hits everybody. And then I have my ultimate, which has auto-aim on it like the other two do, kind of. And I hit a straight shot. I'm very, very, very skittish with my ultimate. Because I like to get that refunded charge. so I want to make sure I kill everybody with him. Like I said, you can run either or. My sniper build is for the, what do you call it, Eminence card, and then the use me is for either Death and Taxes or Alacrity. You see right here, for me, it's all about cooldown reduction. All of her abilities are low damage. Her weapon shots are 400 damage. Her Valor is 400 damage. Her Grace is 400 damage. Her Sniper is 800 damage, but it has a longer cooldown on this build. My thing is, you got to be able to reset cooldown. So the fact that, okay, everybody I hit with Grace lowers the cooldown on Valor. Everybody I hit with my Heirloom Rifle reduces the cooldown of Valor. Eliminations reduce the cooldown. She really thrives in situations where you act more as a flank. She's very much like Sha Lin, but whereas Sha Lin deals high damage at a slower rate, she deals low damage at a higher rate. She can put out wide damage over an area. And the big thing is Death and Taxes with the ability to reduce healing is critical, because now you can run Wrecker and Death and Taxes. But what you have to realize is you're giving up long range potential in your sniper, and you're giving up area damage in Alacrity, versus the ability to stop healing, which is great and wonderful, but you're, again, it's a situation you're not boosting your damage output. You're really not. As you see, let me just show up the sniper build right here. The key right here is the 5 points into that. So if you take it with the sniper card, you go from a 15-second cooldown to an 11-second cooldown, and every time you hit your shot, it takes off essentially 8 seconds off your cooldown. You have a 3-second cooldown on your sniper shot if you hit it. Gives you the fastest cooldown of all your weapons, which is really nice. But you've got to be able to hit it. And it's the only attack in your arsenal that doesn't have auto-aim. Because if you've noticed, your ultimate will kind of focus in on somebody. They have to, like, round a corner to avoid it a little bit. Alright, so the top damage is right here. So we've only got 3 more damages to go over. I've been rambling on for far too long. I shoved in a lot of inappropriate jokes I probably shouldn't have. And I just kind of want to play. So I have a harder time with Drogoz. Let me do the Drogoz right here. Drogoz is another one. All of his cards to me are useful. Fuselage, I don't prefer because I cannot guarantee direct shots. Reign of Terror is great if you're running around Salvo. Just because the fact that it activates instantly is great. You can just activate it, blam, 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 blam. Blow everybody up. And in fact that it also guarantees the 6 shots. So you can activate Salvo with 1 rocket in your launcher, and it fires all 6 rockets. Because that's the problem with me. I used to run Reign of Terror a lot, now I run Combustible. The one thing you will notice, so I have an aerial build that's strictly for Wormjets right here. And this is really, really good in terms of the booster fuel capacity and restoring that. It's meant for staying in the air. His ultimate is overpowered. It's an instant kill on anybody. The salvo, the cooldown is insane, and you have to realize a lot of people will dodge most of the shots. Fire Spit, I just don't like the fact that his projectile speed on the rocket launcher got changed. I like that slower projectile speed because I could lead targets with it. Now, I can't quite lead them, and I can't quite hit them directly. That's why I don't run Fuselage a lot. I prefer Combustible because it does give me extra damage on Fire Spit. But Reign of Terror, and you'll see the... Damn, I didn't mean to do that. The damage here, the damage build right here. The reduced healing off the Fire Spit is critical, and then reducing cooldown on it is critical as well. Yes, I'm tired, whatever. Yeah, I'm tired. But that, as you can see for damage, that's kind of what you want to run. Cassie to me. People try and sell me on Impulse all the time. I don't do it. Cassie is my sniper with Just Breathe. Now, they did nerf her recently. They did take the clip size down. Because, you know, before I was like, oh, great, we can talk about Quiver. We can talk about the fact that I can get a 16-round magazine as Cassie in there. And more than double my clip size. Which now I'm only at 11 rounds. Oh. Boo-hoo, I still got more rounds than Strix. And with Just Breathe, I can deal more damage. So, you get Just Breathe, you're going to go from 680 damage to about 800 to 900 damage. Land a headshot, you're talking 1200 damage. Hi, Strix. Hi, I'm in your ballpark. I fire faster than him by 0.25 seconds. They nerfed the reload time, which sucks. I love her ultimate. A lot of people say her ultimate's crap. I love her ultimate. Again, this loadout right here is built around just breathe. I don't run the big game card, and I don't run impulse. I run exaction, and I run this, which is just breathe. This right here is meant to be, this is meant more around knockback right here. What you're going to want to do, you hit him with disengage, you follow with blast shot. So you knock him back into the blast shot. And then I have rolling thunder, which is for exaction, which is built around rolling. So that you can constantly keep on the move, roll. First shot, 50% life rip. First shot, 30% bonus damage. That first shot after exaction is key. You get 50% life rip. You have 30% damage. You reduce the cooldown by the dodge roll if you hit it. You can keep resetting cooldowns on her. She also does, well, again, you have to realize she does have longer cooldowns for a champion. For a champion of that caliber. Last champion to go over real quick, Bomb King. Bomb King is very hard to use for a lot of people. Oh god, why do I have those bombs on? No, I want my pumpkins on. I want my pumpkin bombs. Accelerate and Demolition are the best cards to do. Because the Quick Grumpy, as it's called, which is Accelerate, chuck your Grumpy out, boom, it goes boom boom. And then Demolition is nice because it increases the blast radius, and it destroys shields. So Fernando on Aegis, this is another great counter to that. I don't really like Royal Subjects. The increased blast size on the Sticky Bomb is great, but you don't get the benefit on the stun. I think you kind of want to build that Grumpy Bomb a little bit. Grumpy Bomb is insane.
Yes, I'm tired. Help.
Chain Reaction is another card that I don't like really because you stack a bomb and you stack another bomb and they do more damage and it turns you more of a flank. He's a very high damage, but you have to be careful about landing your shots. The blast radius is small. Even with Royal Subjects, it's still kind of small, so it's not a great thing to be taking. For loadouts, again, I'm built around sustain. So I'm going to have the reduced self-damage. I'm going to have the increased health. I'm going to have the heal. You need to have Jolt in your loadout, no matter what. Because it turns your Poppy Bomb into a means of escape. If you don't have that card, Poppy Bomb is not an escape. It's used against enemies. And it really should be used as your escape. Because what I like to do is Poppy Bomb, boing! And drop a Grumpy Bomb as I'm in air. Like especially Anara. Anara deploys a wall. Poppy Bomb! Have a little Grumpy Bomb behind you. Poppy into Grumpy. The reload is almost the exact same, by the way. I just have the reload card in there because I have to take reload speed with him. Because the amount of times you chuck a grenade, you chuck, detonate, chuck, reload, detonate, and then reload. You have to reload so much with him. I have no choice anymore. But one of the things we've been yammering on long enough, and I want to get this over with. One of the things that is very crucially important when you're playing a damage, don't push for kills. Your job is to be the damage. Your job is just to do damage. A lot of characters have specialized roles. A lot of characters can remove shields so easily. You can play anti-shield duty. A lot of characters have ways to buff their team and reduce healing. You know, Willow, Tyra, Leon can all reduce healing without cauterize. Who can take out shields fast? Willow, Vivian, Bomb King can all, Drogos can all take out shields almost instantly. Who can play long range support? Strix. At pretty much everybody except Tyra or Bomb King, basically. Let's put it that way. Who delivers damage over a wide area? Not area champions. Just damage over a wide area. Bomb King, Drogos, Tyra, Leanne, Vivian, Shaolin. You know, the ability to help your team more than just going and getting kills. Because that's the thing, with this whole series, I've been trying to show people how you are meant to play a character. When you're playing a healer, you're not meant to play damage. I can't run Catalyst Pip for the life of me. I have a build for it. I can't run it. I can't run Catalyst Pip. Healers are meant to heal. If you're running two healers, it's okay to have one as a damage. But that, again, that doesn't mean that you completely forego your healing abilities. Just because you're Genos running Binary Star doesn't mean you don't put out your Astral Mark on somebody that's clearly low. Same thing with tanks. Your whole point is to sit on the point and capture the point and take damage and shield your teammates. If you're a Scorch Fernando, that doesn't mean you don't put your shield up. Same thing if you're a damage or you're a support or a flank, you have the easiest job in the game. Get kills, do damage. Get everybody soft and squishy. Or finish off the soft and squishy people. Don't not do damage. Like, that's the problem I have with Tyras and Willows, is I say, if I have to tell you to use your ability, that's a problem. That's the one thing I have wrong with this game. If I have to tell you, use your ability, I shouldn't have to say, need healing. I shouldn't have to say, get on the point. I shouldn't have to say, use your dead zone. Use your firebomb. Use your ultimate. I know it comes with time and practice. But you have, like, this is my thing, you have abilities. There's only so many buttons on a controller. There's only so many buttons on a controller. We're not including the joysticks, we're not including pause, share, or touchpad, okay? And we're not including the D-pad. There's 8 other buttons you can press for attacks, right? You can literally just press all of the buttons until you hit something. I would rather you be a character that doesn't know how to use their abilities, that just hits all the abilities and throws everything out there just to find out what they do, because at least they're using their abilities and they're trying, than those characters that never use their ability. Your ultimate, I understand from a tactical perspective, because it's something that you don't get that often, you want to save it. I'm the same way. I just talked about with Leon. I save my ultimate. I'm very skittish with Leon's ultimate, with Lex's ultimate, with Moji's ultimate, unless I know I can guarantee a hit. Drogo's ultimate, I want to guarantee that hit, especially on Leon, where I get the 50% charge back. All I've been saying with these types of videos is, if you're going to play a character, just try. Just try to play your role before you step out. When I played Moji, I played her as a flank. Then I evolved her into a healer, and then I evolved her into a tank. She's a tank hybrid, a tank flank hybrid for me. When I play Khan, first I played him as tank, then I played him as flank, then I played him as healer. He's a combination of those things. That's an example. If you're going to step out of your role, there's 2 rules I have. A, do it right. And B, learn how to play your primary role first. If you want to be a healer that does damage, learn how to play healer first. Because you should never, if you're going to play something besides your role, you should never be able to say, well, I can't do that with this build. I can't do that with this. And especially if you're a damage flank where all you have to fucking do is quote-unquote damage and kills. You should never be able to say, well, I can't do damage with this build. You got 4 buttons on your controller that do something. Use them. Alright, that's it. We'll have some more videos like this later. Thank you for watching. Sorry for bitching and moaning.